What's up, everybody? This is Gresnick, and welcome back to another reaction video. In this one, I'll be reacting to Jaidenanimation's first and maybe second Nuzlocke videos, because I am subscribed to Jaiden, but I have not watched some of her older videos. I'm making sure that works real quick. Okay, let me see. I probably should have done this before I started recording, but I didn't notice it was funky. So now I have to fix it now, or else it'll be weird later. I'll just come back. Okay, so haven't watched these videos before, somehow, even though I've been subscribed to Jaiden for a while. I just haven't watched these, which are her most popular videos. So that will be what I'm doing today. I'll probably just react to the first one. I'll probably react to the other ones later. But let's get into it. Oh wait. Make sure to like and subscribe to Jaiden and myself. That helps me a lot. I need it. No, let's get into it.
Within the Pokemon community, there's a set of self-imposed rules you can add to the games to make them more challenging, called a Pokemon Nuzlocke.
I'm doing
You can
one of
only
those
catch
right
the
now.
first Pokemon you run into per route. If a Pokemon faints,
Which
it
can be
dies,
pretty
and you can't
annoying.
use it anymore. And you have to nickname your Pokemon to get more attached to them. That means if you aren't careful, you can technically lose a Pokemon game under those conditions. I've wanted to do a Nuzlocke careful, you can technically
Okay, we got a My Hero Academia reference of Texas Smash. Okay.
lose a Pokemon game under those conditions. I've wanted to do a Nuzlocke for the
How
longest
I
time.
don't
I've started
know
a
how I
couple in the
haven't watched
past, but
this
never
video
actually
yet,
got to
though.
finish any because busy. But today's the day
Makes
that all
sense.
changes. I decided to make a video on my first full attempt at a Pokemon Ruby Nuzlocke. Let's see how it went. After breaking free from the back of the moving truck my mom stuffed me in and introducing myself to the neighbor Brendan, the kid that I always thought was a monkey said that he heard screaming up ahead. Professor Birch is getting mauled by a level 2 Poochyena, so I let his Torchic out and she scratches the crap out of it. He gifts me Torchic for rescuing him, and I name her Teriyaki, my first Pokemon.
That's a good
Walking up the
name.
route more, I run into Brendan, who challenges me to a battle, where Teriyaki proceeds to also scratch the crap out of his Mudkip. Good job, Teriyaki. You're 2 for 2. Doing great. Professor Birch gives me 5 Pokeballs, and the Nuzlocke has officially started. I walked back up to catch my first Pokemon and ran into a Zigzagoon. Alright, not the best,
fine.
but I can work with
Better
this.
than Rattata, at least.
I think we're gonna have a really awesome adventure. Dude! So Teriyaki one-shotted Zigzagoon with a...
Okay. Well, it's level 3 and you're level 7. What? Okay, it was Scratch, so I guess that makes sense. But it wouldn't have killed. You got a high roll. Oh, that sucks. I've killed a couple encounters, but then again, there's a lot of routes where, for some reason, Fire Red, there's just not a lot of Pokemon for some reason on some routes. So it's like impossible for me to get more encounters until I get a fishing rod that's better, which really sucks. You
critical hit scratch, but whatever.
Crit.
Contain your murder a little bit, alright, guy? Route 102 is right around the corner, and that's where I was able to catch Corn the Seedot. Look at us, couple of friends ready to take on the Hoenn region together. After watching the weird kid Wally struggle to catch his first Pokemon, I continued on to Route...
Okay, I have a terrible thing with Wally.
Together. After watching the weird...
Once upon a time, I used to, like, do playthroughs back when I didn't understand how to load a file. I didn't know how to save my progress, so I just keep replaying like the first couple of gyms in Ruby. And once upon a time, Wally's Ralts that he caught during the catching tutorial was a shiny. This made me very sad, because it was a shiny for the catching tutorial that he doesn't keep throughout the game. It stops being shiny, which really sucks. That's like one of the most. That's such a terrible experience for the catching tutorial Pokemon to be shiny.
Kid
I
Wally
hate this
struggled to
trial.
catch his first Pokemon. I continued on to Route 104 and found a little Talo in the grass. Aggressive and screams and hungry? Oh yeah, I know your name.
Talo's the regional bird, right? Which is weird because I feel like nope, I'm wrong. I was about to say most of the regional birds are 3 stages, but 2 stages, I mean. But Gen 2 and 3s are not. Okay.
In Pendleton Forest, a Team Magma grunt jumps some random professor, so Ari and Teriyaki peck his eyes out.
Gen 3 is one of my more liked games because Gen 3 has a good story, in my opinion. It's also the second Pokemon game I ever played, first being Pokemon Gold for the Game Boy Color. First ever Pokemon game. With Ruby, or maybe it was Emerald, I don't remember, being the second one I ever played.
Oh, hello, Shroomish. I'm gonna name you
doubling
Onion.
up on
I make it to
grass
Rustboro,
Pokemon.
and while getting ready to take on Roxanne's
Breloom's
gym,
the better one, in
Teriyaki
my
kills
opinion.
another Zigzagoon I was about to catch. What's your problem
No
with
Zigzagoons for
Zigzagoons,
you.
dude? But it turned out alright, because she
I mean, Zigzagoon could be good Death Lauder, I guess, but there's not really... Well, technically... No, you didn't catch the first one, so I don't think Death Lauder can... No, not the... Dupe's Claws doesn't count because you didn't catch the first one, never mind.
also ended up evolving. Onion was able to destroy Roxanne with ease, and we got our first gym badge. Exiting the gym, we catch a glance that Team Magma is up to no good again.
Okay.
Something about the scorching earth or something. And this old man exclaims that they stole his Pico. Here's your dog. Also, you're coming with me. The mayor thanks me by turning me into his errand boy, and I arrive in Dewford to give a letter to Stephen. Alright, what do we got?
Yeah.
Ugh. Okay, chomps. After finding Stephen...
Mawile isn't super good in the original Gen 3, because in the original Gen 3, Mawile's pure Steel type, right? Because they don't have Fairy yet. Or were they, like, Dark? I don't remember. But without the Fairy type, Mawile really isn't that good. Mawile with the Fairy type still isn't that great. I mean, Mega Mawile's pretty good, I guess. Just because Mega...
It was time to take on Brawly, the next gym leader. Ari's a stone-cold killer, and easily earned MVP in that fight. Things were going well, 2 badges in, and the team is looking good. On my way to the next city, I caught a tentacle on the beach.
Aw, tentacle.
Squidward. And after beating Team Magma and Brendan again in Slateport, it was time again to get ready for the gym battle with Watson. But as I was fighting some trainers, Chomps the Mawile got electrocuted a bit too hard and was killed. Jaden, let's battle. I want to show you how strong I am.
Yeah.
Okay. Ari, this is an electric gym. You're not allowed to fight in here, so... you can just wait outside.
Yep, electric type gym.
While battling the gym trainers, Onion evolved into Breloom, and together with Teriyaki...
Good grass type. Breloom's pretty good. Also being a fighting type. Which means whenever Teriyaki's fully evolved, you would have 2 fighting types on your team. I mean, you could always switch over to whatever you named the seed, I can't remember. Because then... grass dark type. I don't think that's that good though. I want to stick with Breloom instead, actually. It's weird about Gen 3 and 1. The third gym is electric. I mean, okay.
They were able to get another victory. Now we were riding high. 3 gym badges in and no main casualties. With our massive confidence, we decided to take on the Winstraight family's challenge of beating all their family members. I had Squidward out front to get him some experience, but we ran into some troubles with Grandma. Oh god, it's gonna do a high jump kick. We can take him out, but I need a clean switch first.
Super effective.
So I had to sacrifice.
That's...
So
I want to get the frame. Give it to me. Most replayed.
So I had
That's
to sacrifice Hush Child the Wiz.
Opera, why did you unfull screen me? Okay, well there goes the child. I mean, doesn't xCloud take a while to evolve? I don't remember.
But honestly, that was the safest move to ensure no one else died. Goodbye, Hush
The rest
Child.
of your Pokemon are good.
You might be missed. While we were heading to Fall Arbor, fighting some trainers, Ari evolved. Oh, look at my big bird.
Nice.
Oh, look at you. Yeah. We were almost to town, but we had to get through the sooty grass on 113.
Skarmory.
Oh, jeez. Alright, Barf, get in there with the rest of them. I walked.
Show me your PC.
Oh, jeez. Alright, Barf.
Numel, Wurmple, Gulpin, Skitty, Illumin, and now Spinda. Deathwater. Cool.
Get in there with the rest of them. I walked into Meteor Falls to see Team Aqua and Team Magma arguing about water and rocks. Can I go? So get over here.
Ooh, Zubat.
They kept complaining and I had to go up the volcano they were blocking to fight Maxie, the Team Magma leader. That was a hard—
The only reason I refuse to use a Zubat in my Fire Red Nuzlocke is because it can't evolve into Golbat. Not Golbat. It can't evolve into Crobat, which kind of sucks because Golbat isn't that good, really. Especially in Gen 1. Crobat's better.
hard fight. Onion and Teriyaki were able to take out his Mightyena and Camerupt, but his Golbat hit hard. I ended up having to switch in Ari and double team up to win the battle. Not the most honorable of strategies, but it worked and we're moving on. On the way down the volcano, I ran into a match shop. Oh, hello there, Chad. What? You're a female? Did I stutter? We arrived in Lava Ridge Town and started getting through Flannery's gym. During that time, Squidward was almost killed by a Fury, so I can Kecleon. Fury's
Kecleon.
Oh my gosh, that does a lot of damage. Stop! But when it came time to battle, he pulled his weight and more. Honestly, with the team, there wasn't much I could have done to Flannery's fire Pokemon, but Squidward came in clutch by learning Bubble Beam, and it was all over for her. Badge 4, under our belt. Brendan met up with us outside the gym to give us goggles so we could walk in the sandstorms. I found a claw fossil, and Anorith was born. I didn't know what to name it, so my friend named him Gary. Now it was time for the 5th gym. After some training, Chad evolved into Machoke, and the team was leveled up. I started the battle with Ari, and after realizing I was in trouble...
slacking.
Yeah, that doesn't do a lot of damage.
Slacking's up.
I managed to squeak by with more double teams. Ari was barely able to take out the first slacking, so when the second, stronger one came out, I knew I had to use a different strategy. I brought out Onion to leech seed it and try and get more chip damage in, which worked, but he was also killed by Slacking's facade, which I thought he could take. Chad was able to finish off the rest of the fight, but that was the first death that actually hurt.
That sucks.
I'm not crying. Someone's just chopping onions in here. But with every down, there's an up. And Corn stepped up and was ready to fill Onion's spot. While passing through Mauville again, Watson asked us to help him turn off the city's generator. And while down there, I found a Magnemite.
Yo, Magnemite.
You wanna come with?
Another Pokemon that is better with its evolution. Because Magneton is decent, but Magnezone is good.
Okay. We kept on our way, catching Spurky the Electrike, and while fighting some trainers, Corn survived 2 very close...
Ninjask. I've beaten the entirety of Sword and Shield with 1 Ninjask. Because it was good enough for some reason I could sweep the entire game.
He took a Sword
Until
Stance
the Leon
boosted
fight,
Fury
I
Cutter
couldn't
by
do that there.
Ninjask, and a misclick from me, which resulted in him
Misclick.
tanking a wing attack from a Talo. No! Corn! No!
He's fine.
Dude, Corn, I'm so sorry. You're such a trooper. Good news is Squidward evolved while training, so that's neat. We arrived in Fortree City, and this was a gym I was really nervous about. Not only did we not have a good team to take on a flying-type gym.
Yeah. Weak to flying. Gary isn't being a rock. Wait, I forget if it's a bug rock or if it's pure rock. Yeah. I mean, Squidward can do something. They're water type. It's good against flying.
But Winona's Altaria is notorious for sweeping teams if she sets up too many dragon dances. I went to the grass to train up the team, and the worst happened. Corn was killed by pin missile from a Zigzagoon. Wait,
1 HP too. That's terrible. That just adds insult to injury, the Zigzagoon being on 1 HP.
Corn! You monster! How could you do this? Is this why you kept trying to kill all the Zigzagoons? I want to think that Corn sacrificed himself because he knew we were at too much of a disadvantage going into Winona's gym, and by opening up a space, we could get the type advantage we needed to stand a chance. With a heavy heart, I brought Zip Zap Zop the Magnemite to the team, and realized how much more grinding I was gonna have to do. I had to fight so many Merrills to get Zip Zap Zop on par with the rest of the team. You wanna know how many? The move Thunderbolt can be used 15 times before it runs out. And I had to go back to the Pokemon Center almost 6 separate times to refill it. Meaning Zip Zap Zop killed more than 80 Marill that were living in that lake.
I find it funny, all of the eyes on Magnezone were looking in different directions. I might use this as my thumbnail. Yoink. This is a funny frame. Can I? What? What's wrong with my computer? Okay. What? Hey. Okay, can I continue watching now?
Then 80 Marill that were living in that lake. Winona led with Swellow, which Zip Zap Zop was able to take out. But she immediately brought out Altaria, which made me very scared because I know she's got Earthquake on that thing. I didn't have a clean switch, and I knew no one on the team could take 2 hits from this Cloud Bird. So I ultimately decided that I'd have to have Zip Zap Zop paralyze it in exchange for his death. Goodbye, Zip Zap Zop.
I like Zip Zap Zop.
You weren't here for long, but your efforts will not be in vain. Oh my god! Somehow Zip Zap Zop lived the earthquake on 2 HP like a mad lad. Corn must have been looking down on us for that one, because there was definitely a 90% chance Zip Zap Zop was supposed to die there. With that string of luck, I was able to switch Ari in for Zip Zap Zop to predict another earthquake, and started chipping away at the Altaria, which was not gonna be easy.
What EVs do Marill give? Said you killed a whole bunch of Marill. What do they give you? I forgot.
She was already starting to stack up those dragon dances, which make her moves even more powerful, and I was legitimately sweating. But with what little luck we had left, Winona got greedy and tried to get in that last dragon dance, and that's when Ari was able to swoop in and snipe that kill. If that Altaria would have decided to attack at any point, she would have one-shotted anyone and everyone on my team. Thank you, Corn. You shined your photosynthesis onto us. From there, I was able to heal up Zip Zap Zop and sweep the rest of her team. The 6th gym badge was ours.
Static.
Outside the safari zone, I found a Duskull I was able to catch. I tried to have Gary on the team since resurrecting him from the dirt, but he honestly has, like, no moves that do damage, so I decided to replace him with Sin. We arrived in Lily Cove and I tried fishing on the beach for a Pokemon, but Chad punched the Whalmer I reeled up too hard and killed it. We stormed Team Magma's base, and while trying to get the Master Ball they've got on the ground, an Electrode exploded and almost killed Chad, which was uncalled for. After beating their admin, they escaped into a submarine, and I went on to fight the next gym. Tate and Liza were the first double battle gym leaders, and I didn't realize until too late that I was just a tad underleveled for them.
Underleveled.
They don't have any more than 2 Pokemon, so I think
they're
we
both
should
psychic
be
rock
okay.
types, right?
42?
36!
Uh-oh. Sin and Zip Zap Zop made a good duo, being able to confuse and paralyze them, but Solrock managed to get off a Sunny Day powered flamethrower in Zip Zap Zop's face, which totally killed him.
He's melted.
That really sucked. He put in so much work for the team and really carried us this far. The rest of this fight's for you, Zip Zap Zop. Squidward came out, and together with Sin, were able to finish off the duo, getting us our 7th gym badge. Alright, Spurky, you're up.
25!
I think I single-handedly wiped out the entire water Pokemon population between Zip Zap Zop and Spurky. Yep. I went to Shoal Cave and caught Blubby the Spheal, and went out to take on Maxie one last time. For some reason, I didn't learn my lesson when being underleveled for Tate and Liza.
Did you
because I was even more underleveled for Maxie.
Mightyena.
41 still.
It doesn't go down?
Why would it go down?
This fight was rough. Chad was able to take out his Mightyena, but I resorted to Squidward when his Crobat came out, and luck wasn't on my side here, because Squidward was killed by a high-roll wing attack. The way Pokemon work...
I know how Pokemon works. That sucks. Man, I mean, at least you just got Blubby. Very good water type. It's also an ice type, but that's fine.
There's a small range of damage an attack can do. It's not actually the same all the time, and it's kind of based on chance. So even though it looked like Squidward could have lived 2 wing attacks, Maxie was able to get a low roll on the first one, and a high roll on the second,
that sucks.
Which was the death of Squidward. But it wasn't time to give up. We had to persevere. For Squidward. Ari came in and took out the Crobat and lived on 1 HP when hit by Camerapt's Rock Slide. It was a tough battle, but we squeaked by. Barely. After that fight, I needed to take a step back and seriously grind up the team again.
Blubby,
if we were just a bit more underleveled, we would have been murdered. Blubby joined the team and we got to work, eventually arriving in Sutopolis. Steven and the Sutopolis gym leader, Wallace, were there saying Groudon was in the cave because someone used the wrong orb and pissed him off. So I went in there, walked up to Groudon.
That's a crazy scene. Damn.
The wrong orb and pissed him off, so I went in.
Damn, that looks great. Jeez. Man. Might have to steal that thumbnail
walked
instead.
Up to Groudon and Master Balled him immediately. There's no way I'm fighting Groudon. Now get in the box. While fighting Wallace, Spurky was able to take out his Love Disc and Celio. Sin beat his Whiscash, and Chad finished off the Milotic. The team was perfect. And after obtaining our finished off the Milotic.
You have a pretty good team, actually. Electric type, water type, fighting ghost, fire starter, which is another fighting type, and then a good flying type. It's a really good team. If you could evolve Chad, because Machamp would be a lot better. Blubby's going to evolve at some point, but oh yeah, you can't evolve Sin. Because this is Gen 3. If you could, this would be an amazing team. I mean, Sparky would have been better if it was still Zip Zap Zop, honestly.
It was perfect. And after obtaining our final gym badge, I knew we were ready for the Elite Four. We got through Victory Road. Wally tried to fight us for the last time, but he just needs to stop. We exited the cave, and there it was. The final challenge. Here we go. Sydney was up first, and honestly, he wasn't a challenge at all. Chad and Teriyaki were able to take care of his team with ease. Phoebe wasn't difficult either, with Sin and Blubby being MVPs. Glacia was a bit tougher. Teriyaki was able to take out her Glalies, and Sparky could handle her Celios, but her Walrein was the big problem. Walreins are thick, can tank a lot of hits, and can do a lot of damage. I would know, because I have one. I brought out Chad, and she was able to get in a good amount of damage, but she was ultimately killed by Blizzard. Sin came out to try and confuse it, but it broke through the...
You can't trade it, because if Machamp would have been so much better. Fight might have went better if Chad was a Machamp, too.
Confusion, and landed a sheer cold.
Oh! It landed a sheer cold. That's pretty cold.
Sheer Cold is a one-hit KO move. It has a 30% chance of hitting the target and will fail if the target Pokemon's level is higher than the user's. But even under all those conditions, it hit. And Sin was killed. Two great team members, down and out. Chad was with us for so long and pulled so much weight, and Sin got us through some really tough battles. Even with those losses, we were able to finish Glacia off and move on to the final Elite Four member, Drake. Drake's got a tough team, but we've got a Blubby, and she wanted revenge for her fallen comrades. She ice beamed every single one of Drake's Pokemon. Just a straight-up massacre. And with that, it was on to the last battle. Steven Stone. I was legitimately nervous. I led with Sparky to take out his Skarmory as quick as possible, and Blubby was able to take out his Claydol and Aggron, but then came his Metagross. This might be the end. Metagross is Steven's strongest Pokemon, so I needed to hinder it as much as I could before it started doing serious damage. I knew his Metagross had Earthquake, which would definitely take out most of my team, so I had to have Sparky Kamikaze to get a paralysis off. Blubby came out again, and after a lot of hard work, finally beat the Metagross by spamming Surf. Teriyaki was able to finish his Cradily, and his final Pokemon was Armaldo, Gary's final revenge for getting booted from the team. I brought out Blubby because Teriyaki was pretty weakened, and after realizing she gets two-shotted by him, I knew she was gonna have to die. So with a heavy heart, Blubby pulled off her last Surf, getting Armaldo in the red, and was killed. Teriyaki, the Pokemon who's been with us from the start, who's seen her friends die in front of her, the OG, refused to let any more murder happen.
You have to make sure your starter doesn't die.
Corn,
that's just like
Zip Zap Zop, Squidward, Chad, Sin, Sparky, Blubby. Their zeros and ones won't go down in vain.
I'm surprised how little Pokemon you lost. I mean, I've lost very little Pokemon in my playthrough so far, but I'm only on Gym 4. I haven't finished yet.
One good kick to the head, and we did it. We completed the Pokemon Ruby Nuzlocke. Teriyaki and Ari were the only survivors, but the whole team put in a lot of work to get us to number...
It's a ghost of a ghost. Yeah, this is a nice picture.
Number 1. A cheers to the true Mad Lads.
Oh, Deoxys in the background. Neat. Okay. I like this, outro, because it's the, Pokemon Ruby intro. Okay, that was a good video. I'm surprised I hadn't seen these before. They're good. This is gonna be the one video for today. Okay. I'm not gonna watch number 2. I'll save that for another video, since, they're doing Platinum next. Yeah, I like Platinum. It's a good game. It's a lot better than BDSP, at least. What adventure? Yeah, make sure to like and subscribe to Jaden. It was a good video, and myself, of course. And have a good day, night, and afternoon, and I will see you tomorrow. Goodbye.